The naturalist and travel writer Mark Stratton takes us on a journey to the remote rainforests of Papua New Guinea in a quest for the world's biggest butterfly.
It was back in 1906 when Edwardian naturalist Albert Stuart Meek visited Papua New Guinea on a collecting expedition for the Natural History Museum. One day, inside dense rainforest, he took aim with his shotgun and brought down the largest butterfly ever seen. It had a wingspan of 1 foot. That's simply massive for a butterfly. And Queen Alexandra's Birdwing in honour of the reigning monarch, Edward VII's wife. To this day, it remains the world's largest butterfly, restricted to a small patch of coastal rainforest and rarely seen by outsiders. My name is Mark Stratton. I'm a travel and nature writer with a passion for seeking out rare and endangered species. My journey to Papua New Guinea to see the Queen Alexandras was one I dreamed of making for many years. To do that, I'd flown to the other side of the world to Papua New Guinea's urban jungle, the capital, Port Moresby. From there, I headed north into real jungle, the rainforest of Oro province and the butterfly's last stronghold on the Managalas plateau. It was a journey that would prove both moving, tantalising and often uncomfortable.
We welcome you.
Well, it's proving a very adventurous and exciting journey, actually, onto the Managalas plateau. And at the moment, I'm walking across some fields on top of the plateau, heading to a place which sounds like karaoke with a lisp. It's Kawawoki. We left Popondetta in a flatbed four-wheel drive this morning and immediately filled up with about 15 or 20 people crammed in the back. And they're all villagers hitching a lift home to this very, very remote plateau. And as you can hear, there's a large group of the villagers around me now as we're heading to the village. The last bit of the road was so bad we have to hike into the station where I'm going to be staying to look for the Queen Alexandras. We came up along the coast, first of all, of Oro Bay, and you can see the ocean there, and gradually veered off inland to thick rainforest. At first there was a lot of, I noticed a lot of oil palm plantation, but gradually it started to become really, really natural, although the forest is very much mixed in with wild bananas and breadfruit and sago palms, so it's quite a diverse rainforest, packed with nature's larder as well. The houses are little wooden houses with thatched roofs on stilts and everywhere, and this is such a Papua New Guinean thing. There's gardens where they grow bananas and taro and yam. I'm going to keep on walking and try not to disappear down too many ruts. So I'm being escorted in by our spear-carrying warrior and axe-chopping mudman, and this is all for me. I can't believe it. And there's a lovely group of singers, and there's a little sign saying "Essa, Essa, Essa, happy welcome to Dadakul community." There's a lady now with a blackened face and a spear. She's doing a bit of it. Oh, she's just jabbed the welcome sign. She's got some hibiscus flowers in her headband. And I think I'm now going through the flower gate. I'm just settling into my stilted thatched hut, where I'll be at home for 3 nights in the charming village of Kawawoki. I'm right in the heart of the village. I've been a real object of curiosity here, actually, since I've arrived. This village is the home of the Essay tribe. And I arrived and there was dancing, a sing-sing, a traditional way of expressing their culture through song, and a fruit buffet laid out for me, and now they've just found me a little hut. It's all very humbling. Cornwell, who's been guiding me all day, who works for the village as a sort of community development worker, said you're only the third white man to ever visit here, hence why I was a bit of a curiosity, really. The journey up here was really very interesting and a real contrast, actually. First of all, leaving the Popondetta Plain, I couldn't help but notice the great amount of oil palm plantations as we headed towards Oro Bay on the coast. But then as we turned inland, we started heading into fantastic rainforest. It's an interesting rainforest. It's sort of a mixture of all the sort of classical tall canopy trees you imagine in a forest, and epiphytes and lianas and bromeliads, but also mixed in you see a lot of breadfruit trees and wild banana trees. I think that was a parrot there, and I saw lots of parrots today. And also the locals carve little gardens out of it with yam and taro and bananas. That's their staple living. They live a subsistence lifestyle, and they carve little niches out of the rainforest. But then, we enter an area called the Manangalas Plateau Conservation Area, and it's very remote. And the last stronghold of the Queen Alexandra birdwing, according to the locals, they say this butterfly has dwindled heavily in the lower plains where logging and oil palm plantation has taken over. I really can't wait to tomorrow. I'm just praying it's going to be good weather because the skies are rather bruised looking at the moment. Obviously rain would put a kibosh on seeing it, but I just can't wait. Well, we've hiked out. This is my first attempt to find the Queen Alexandra birdwing, or QABB as you'll hear a lot around here. And we've hiked about 30 minutes from the village. Unfortunately, though, it's very, very misty. There's a low cloud hanging over the forest at the moment, but the sun looks like it's just about to break through. I've come in with Cornwell here. He's got with him a local farmer called Elliot. There's a great environmental consciousness about this butterfly here and wanting to look after and protect it. And although we can't see it at the moment, I'm going to ask Elliot about the routine of the butterfly, and hopefully he can tell me a little bit of why he thinks it's going to go zooming over our heads any minute now. Cornwell, if you could just interpret to Elliot, can you tell me about the morning routine? What does the butterfly do?
Elliot says that QABB has a routine where normally flies out and flies in. There are time from in between 7 to 9 o'clock. That's the time when the weather is fine. We have good sunshine. That's where it flies over to locations where it lays the eggs.
On the pipeline?
Yes. And then flies back to where it stays.
Now, you said that Elliot takes care and looks after the vines on his farm in the bush. What does he do? How does he protect the vines?
Elliot's female feeds on the vines there, knowing that is the home where it will normally come and lay eggs. So he is very careful with children walking into there. Using knives, they might in case cut the vines.
Yes.
So he makes sure that children don't walk in there.
Yeah.
No visitors are to come that way. At the same time, he cuts new vine and plants and makes sure that the place is clear, open, where QABB feels that it's comfortable to fly in and out.
Okay.
So he doesn't only look after the vines, but he also opens track for QABB to go in, feed, rest, and then fly out.
That's fantastic. So he's making a home, literally, for the butterfly.
Exactly.
Why does he do that, though?
Elliot says that the Queen Alexandra birdwing butterfly is the largest birdwing butterfly in the world. And he thinks that this is a species where we need to sell and income in the years to come when we are given okay to trade QABB. By then, him or his children would have the chance of having money when they sell.
So he wants to protect the butterfly for the future in case there's a chance in the future of actually being able to trade the butterfly and make some income.
He himself also wants to reap the labor of his labor that he's doing.
Okay. The sun is just starting to burn through the cloud now, so I'm really hoping we get a chance to see one fly soon. But it's very interesting to know that the local people are actually doing work to actually look after this species. Well, we haven't had any luck this morning. So we walked down to the house of Collinson Matohi. who lives in the village, and he may be the local expert on this butterfly I've been looking for. So Collinson actually worked for something called the Oro Conservation Project, which was an Australian aid-funded program from the 1990s, which was to help conserve Queen Alexandra's birdwing in Malangalas. Now, what Collinson has already told me is that it was recognised that this butterfly was declining across Oro province, particularly on the Popondetta plains, where there's been a lot of oil palm plantation and logging. And so efforts were concentrated here on Malangalas as a stronghold for the butterfly. And he's here with me now. Well, Collinson, what have you got in this box here?
I have specimens which I collected for educational awareness to schools.
Ah, I can see through the plastic lid. Are these actually live or dead?
They are dead.
They're dead ones, yeah.
Yeah, dead ones.
Okay, so Collinson's getting out 2 females, and also gives me a really fantastic chance to see the male as well. This is the Queen Alexandra. Can you just describe it for me?
The female is black.
Yeah.
In color, with wingspan of 30 centimeters.
This one is 30 centimeters.
That's right.
So that is close to a foot.
That's right.
In
yes,
width.
yes.
That one here is a foot. Oh, I wish she was alive, because it's an absolutely massive one here.
That's right.
Now the male here is actually alive. Describe it for me. The colours.
The colors are gold, blue, light blue,
Yeah.
and green.
So you've just collected this male. What's going to happen to this specimen then?
We have target village that we work with. So we take it around to the village and to the schools, women's group and other church groups. And they help us to protect the butterfly in their own bushes or in the forest.
And I understand you've also got some eggs and caterpillars.
That's right. Yeah.
This is down in your garden?
Yes.
So this is a nursery for breeding the butterflies.
That's right. Yeah.
And what will you do with those butterflies from the nursery?
From the nursery, I look after them because there are so many predators that come to attack them, like the wasp and the spiders. So I need to monitor. When they come to heads, I just release the adults back into the forest.
So you are releasing them, yeah?
That's right.
You've obviously been working with the butterfly for some time. Do you think it's becoming more common to see or rarer to see them?
To my observation now, it's becoming more common now. Now, due to our efforts in protecting the environment and the species, now I can sight at least 3 or 4 in a day.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm going to sight 3 or 4 in a day while I'm here?
Yes.
Yeah?
So as soon as this mist clears, they will come out.
Yeah,
The butterfly will come
I'm looking forward. Well, can we go down and see our eggs and caterpillars now?
Yes.
We've come down a very slippery slope, and we've cut off into the forest behind Collinson's house. And Collinson is growing some vines here. Collinson, this is a pipe vine, Aristolochia. This is the only food plant and egg-laying plant of the Queen Alexandra birdwing.
Yes, yes. This is the only wine that the Queen Alexandra feeds on. It's poisonous. According to scientists, we are not to touch or eat any of the fruits of these wines.
You've actually grown these vines here.
Yeah, I replanted some, while the others are natural. They just grow here, so I have to come and clear it and help them to grow up.
So you're looking after them.
Yeah.
Now, what we're looking at here is there's a caterpillar sitting very happily upside down underneath one of the leaves. This one's quite small. This one is probably about 1 inch long. How old would this caterpillar be?
It's about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. It's very black. It's got fantastically spiny-looking tubercles coming out of its body, which are red. It's like a sort of blood-red dyed Mohican, actually, but it's very spiny. I mean, it looks like if you touch that, it would actually be quite sharp. This is positively screaming, "Don't eat me." At this stage, it's taking into its body the poisons of the vine.
Yes.
This whole vine looks like it's been heavily eaten as well.
That's right.
Has this caterpillar done all of this damage to the...
Yes.
Yeah,
When it goes to its last stage, it needs to take more poison or more liquid and to store itself during this process of going to adult.
When it goes to the chrysalis, will you leave the chrysalis here on the vine?
Yeah, I'll let it on the vine and I'll just come and ever monitor it.
You keep an eye on it.
Once I see that the ants and other things trying to attack it, I'll remove it to house and then put it there. Wait for it. When it's hatched, I'll release it into the forest.
That's fantastic. Oh, you're doing some good work here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
We've retreated back to the village now, and the plan is now we're going to walk around the village edge and see if the Queen Alexandra comes down to nectar on many of the wonderful flowers. I can see hibiscus, banana, but it's very colourful and bright and ideal for inducing passing Queen Alexandra birdwings. I'd just gone back into the hut, and all the guides out here started shouting, "Hey Mark, come out, come out." And sure enough, going through the canopy, probably about 20-25 foot off the ground, at the speed of light, was a large female. And wow, I mean, my first chance to see one fly. You know, you attach adjectives to butterflies like flittering and fluttering, but these don't. These flap their wings and fly in a straight line. Powerful wings, they take a few beats, and they glide as straight as an arrow, and they fly fast. It looked like a big female. Collington is saying around about 12 inches. I mean, just to put that into context, they're on a par at a foot wide with species like house martin, and they are certainly greater than common birds like robins and sparrows. Fantastic though, fantastic to actually see my first real Queen Alexandra's birdwing flying. Now the challenge is to find one coming down to nectar feed. Finally, the mothership has landed after 4 successful hours this morning, sitting on a trunk, getting nibbled and saying nothing. I've come back to the village. We've been rooting round for a couple of hours. As usual, the locals have been telling me they've been seeing them all morning. And I've wandered over and sat down in front of a beautiful purple bougainvillea, and a big female has landed. Fantastic. She is huge. I'm about 15 feet away from her now. She's just fussing round the flowers. She must be a foot wide, definitely a foot wide, and she's got her wings spread open. I can see her black top and creamy markings on the top, and a very yellow tail. And as she lifts up her top wing, I can see the underside and these little sort of white creamy arrowheads pointing towards her thorax. Very clear. She's feeding on the flowers. I can see her proboscis unfurling almost like an elephant's trunk just to take the nectar. Seeing her move, it's almost like a computer-generated image. She's so big. It doesn't seem natural to see a butterfly this big flapping around you. It's like science fiction. She's got her wings open. I guess, you know, it's a little bit cloudy. I guess she needs to use them like solar panels to heat up her wings, to heat up her body, because there's not a lot of sunshine around at the moment, although it is really hot underneath the cloud. And she's looking really fresh. Oh, this is just breathless. It's really exciting to see her. I'm really lucky. I'm getting quite a sighting. I'd say in the previous 2 days, I've had about 45 seconds worth of high-flying Queen Alexandras, which has been great. But to actually see her so close is marvellous. I would love to see a male come down, and the courtship ritual is supposed to be very elaborate. Apparently, he hovers above her and sprays her with his love potion or his pheromones. No, she's gone. She's moving into the I've lost her already. I mean, she just disappeared into some very thick trees, and I can't see her at all. But wow, finally, what a sighting, and what a butterfly.
The spectacle of Queen Alexandra's banana yellow body and massive black and cream wings was truly worth the wait. I'd been privileged to see one so close, but only because I'd journeyed to the right place to meet villagers who live with and cared for this wonderful birdwing. I'd shared the thatched hut of Cornwall Nukara, my host at Karawoki village. Cornwall was also the community representative for a pro-environment NGO called Partners with Melanesians.
The plan behind the Managlas conservation area is to conserve the whole entire plateau, so that people can conserve their customary land and look after it for the generations.
How are people actually protecting the butterfly here? What are they doing?
We protect the Queen Alexandra butterfly by planting vines. Secondly, we have a greenhouse here.
Yes.
It's built and we nursery, and then we collect caterpillars, Queen Alexandra butterfly caterpillars from the bush, and then we breed them inside the greenhouse.
Yes.
And when it's to the stage of adult, we release the butterfly out.
Is this because people genuinely like the butterfly, or do they think they need to conserve it because it'll bring them benefits?
They know that it will bring them benefit. That's why they are trying to conserve it.
If this butterfly was suddenly you were able to collect it and sell it on a small basis, that would definitely help the community, would it?
Yes. It's illegal for us to trade out, but if we have sold some of it, it would be better. If the national government or the Department of Environment and Conservation can give a permit to the locals, particularly to those who are now doing the groundwork on the ground in protecting the QABB, so that we can trade a male and female out once in a while.
To sum up, do you think the Queen Alexandra has a very secure future here?
Queen Alexandra Birdwing butterfly has a future to this community here. In the years to come, this place will be changed because of protecting the Queen Alexandra Birdwing butterfly.
In order to trade the butterfly legally, it would need to be downgraded on the list created by CITES. That's the Convention on the Importation and Trade in Endangered Species. From Appendix 1, which forbids any trade, to Appendix 2, which permits controlled trade. I asked Dr. Neil Stronach, who at the time of my visit worked for WWF in New Guinea, whether this approach would help stabilise the butterfly's numbers by incentivising local people to conserve it.
Well, that's always a very dicey question. It is clearly a very valuable species, and valuable species, whether or not they're on Appendix 1, tend to be traded. So
Illegally?
Indeed.
Yes.
So if it's on Appendix 1 and can't be traded, and it's very valuable, if there's a market for it, then there's always a chance that it will be traded.
Yes.
And if it's an illegal trade, that sometimes actually is more harmful for a species than a legal trade. But you have to find out how to go about a legal trade to make it viable. It could be not viable either way, and you may have to use much more tough methods to preserve your species. In other words, really apply the protection. When it comes to CITES, it's the government of PNG, which is the signatory of CITES. It's the government here that has to make the final decision, and they would take it then to the CITES conference for acceptance if it was ever to be done listed.
Yeah.
It's quite a complicated process.
Here, the Oro provincial government have this Queen Alexandra Birdwing butterfly. They adopted to the flag. It's an identity and the emblem of the Oro province.
Eddie Malaysia is Wildlife Officer for the Oro Provincial Government and is proud of having the world's largest butterfly in his province. I asked him if he felt trading the birdwing was an option.
It's a proposal that I made. I put it in my report to the Department of Environment Conservation to consider.
Yeah.
So that will allow the landowners to trade butterfly.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, the longer that a butterfly stays on the CITES, nobody knows the importance of the butterfly. If they sell it, they trade it, they get money. It's like any other cash crop. The landowners who have the butterfly are saying that to me. They want to change their butterfly habitat into oil palm or cocoa or coffee so they can make money for themselves. Because some of them look after the butterfly for 50 years. 50 years, 50. Yeah. You're just looking after it, you don't get any benefit, you have nothing. So right now, when the competition of the cocoa development and the oil palm development, when they're moving forward, the conservation landowners are having a hard time now because they find that, their friends can make money, they cannot make money. I had about 14 proposed areas. 7 of them went under the oil palm.
Over what period of time?
Oh, about 10 years ago.
That's a serious loss of...
It's a serious loss.
That's on the lowland plains.
That's on lowland plain.
Yeah.
So they all went under the oil palm. The proposal that I made here to the provincial government that if they could put these people on some monthly allowances or quarterly allowances or something like that, so that they know they are receiving something from the government, so that they can be able to maintain whatever they have in their reserve.
And you think that would work if locals got incentives?
That's right. It would work.
How would you protect this butterfly from now on if you had complete control over planning and development in Oro province?
Yeah. What I'm looking forward here is that put the landowners, those landowners whose areas have butterflies, you put them on the payroll.
Unfortunately, my attempts to speak with anybody at the Department of Environment and Conservation in Port Moresby to discuss the Queen Alexandra's future were unsuccessful. But in Port Moresby, I called by the headquarters of the NGO Partners with Melanesians, who've been involved with conserving Queen Alexandras on Managalas for many years. Their programme manager, Rufus Mahuru, is involved with a project to get a large part of the Managalas Plateau declared a conservation area. I asked Rufus how such a protected area would benefit the butterfly.
We know that it's quite difficult for us to go and look after an area of 360,000 hectares, which is too huge. So once the area is declared, we will venture into other areas like tourism.
Yes.
We see there is potential, that there is benefit, but we need to declare the area as a conservation area. Then the landowners will make their own decisions according to the management plan that they will have after declaration.
Some people mentioned to me that it would be great if there could be a limited and controlled trade of the Queen Alexandra birdwing. Is that something which could be implemented to help the people if they were able to sell a few of these butterflies?
At the moment, we are not yet into this trading business, but we are still in the process of conserving and protecting this QABB until our people are well versed and well aware of the importance.
So certainly it sounds like you would rather see ecotourism as a way of the locals benefiting from the butterfly's presence rather than perhaps them trading in the butterfly.
Exactly, because we need to preserve it and conserve it for future generations.
What future do you think the QAB, the Queen Alexandra's birdwing, has on Managalas Plateau?
With this project, we see a good future for QABB, and we believe strongly that it can benefit the local communities in Managalas Plateau.
The thrill of experiencing the world's largest butterfly in its natural habitat had left me feeling like the happiest lepidopterist on the planet. Meeting local people battling against the odds to save it left me humbled. Time will tell if declaring the Managalas Conservation Area will be enough to save Queen Alexandra's habitat and bring in much-needed ecotourism revenue. Legally trading the butterfly seems unlikely in the near future. But as with endangered species the world over, their ability to pay their own way may be the key to future survival. For me, my audience with Her Majesty Queen Alexandra, powering her way through the New Guinean treetops, seemed reason enough for the reign of this bird-sized butterfly to continue.